Aloha, sire. Okay, I hope I don't make this too long, and what I want to go over is a couple different ideas. These are not set in stone rules. These are ground rules, basics, ideas. It's for starting the concept of chord analysis, melody, and progression analysis, and then overall composition and arrangement. You can play any variation of C or any variation of F or any variation of G, no matter what we're playing, as long as the keys are diatonically relative, meaning C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, in the key of C. The key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, as long as they're relative. F, G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished, F. If we can keep that concept, we can write some really cool melodies. I will dissect your melody that you came up with. I can't remember it off the bat, but I remember it was in D. We had a D, E, D, and the next time it does like a D, E, F. I will listen to the video, write out the chords. What I'd like to do is analyze it. I'm going to figure out how to do what you got right there. See what our ideas are with the ways to go through the harmonic progressions along with this, which we've talked about chord analysis, note analysis. That's what that's going to be for. But today we're going to talk about harmonic progressions. Simply said, we're going to use the key of C just to accentuate what a C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C is. You can do this in any key. I tend to like, as you were in A, using the F sharp and then to the G. If we're doing that same principle, knowing that we can go to the minor and then a sus, and feel those differences. Oops. Ooh, that's a weird note. So that idea, that F natural or E sharp is not in the key here, is it? So when we're playing that, I quite literally wouldn't do it there in the F sharp either, because the F sharp wouldn't breed in a E, or an E sharp, it'd breed an E. However, if I was moving to a G sharp, that kind of fills it over the top as a seventh note. So what we do is we look for different chords as triads, and then as sevenths, major or minor, sometimes six, and then sometimes even our augmented type of chords. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about relatively the circle of fifths and how to navigate this so we can use all of our, I'm sorry, I went backwards. C, G, D, we're gonna go to A, E, B flat. We can go through the whole thing. When we switch and change to a different key, you then move your circle of fifths. I think we've covered the circle of fifths enough to know that we just shift our progressions. So that's what you would do with this harmonic progression exercise. There is nothing wrong with writing everything in the key of C, getting a melody, filling out the tempo and pace, and then arranging it to put it in a vocal score that works for you, and then working on the individual fingerings. So rather than E to F and B to C as our half steps, in the key of D, we would have our F sharp to G, absolutely, C sharp to D. So here we go. In the key of C, it would make sense that the 5 is natural tension. When we find ourselves in the 5 to 1, we can move to different movements. This obviously is a bass-driven C, but the chords are C major to an F inversion, C major to a B diminished inversion. Very simply, 1, 4, 1, 7. Well, that's not out of the ordinary. If 1 was where we had just resolved to, and we went to the 4 can either be a 4 or a 2. So in the key of C, our 4 can either be an F major or a D minor. Oddly enough, that F major and D minor are the relative major and minor of themselves. So in the key of C, knowing that the relative major and the relative minor work interesting wise, but we honestly wouldn't go from a 1 to a 4 to a 2. We would either do the 4 in lieu or the 2 in lieu. So it makes more sense. C, D minor, C, F. We generally wouldn't do a C to an F to a D minor, because when you get to the D minor, where are you going to go? The only other place you could go is either up to the 5, which feels good, or you could go back to the 4, which doesn't feel good. C major to F major to D minor to G major to... You can even move it up to the E, the minor third, but then you're back at the beginning of the cadence, and then the minor feels like it should go either to the 6, or the minor third could feel like it skips the 6 and goes to the 4, or you could bypass all of this and go from the minor third to the 5, back to the 1. So the concept from one side to the other for the circle fifths in the key of C would be E minor would generally go through to the 6, so E minor to A minor. There's nothing wrong with throwing A minor 7 there, so E minor to A minor 7. Still has that 1 variable, but it has the A minor moving with it. Meshing over to the 6, so we can play the A minor to the D minor. And we have the choice of the D minor either going forward to the 5, so the G, or the D minor moving quite literally to the B, diminish, and resolving back to the 1. So in answer to any questions is, can the 3 go to the 4? Sure, absolutely. Then where? 5? Nice. You could have also done a 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3, 4 to a 7, back to the 1. Why? The 5 and the 7 are going to want to go to the 1. Very rarely do you have a 5 or a 7 that go anywhere other than the 1. They generally don't backtrack. We talked about when you do jumps, you should do a backtrack. That kind of works also when you're not completing a triad for your drum. We'll talk back more about that when we're in that type of lesson. However, for the harmonic progressions, try and see yourself writing a little ditty this week, maybe in the key of C. Minor third, minor second, minor third, minor second. What chord would you not go to after a minor second when you're doing a minor third to a minor second? Well, you probably wouldn't go directly to a 1 unless you're in the key of 3. Because it has a similar movement. But if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, directly back to the 1, it resolves, but not as clear as having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See how when we played that extended D minor, it's nothing more than our F major, D minor 7, completes the thought of having the F major, which ipso facto is a better feeling for the 3, 4, 1 as a result. resolution. Heck, you can even do a 3, put a 5 in the bass with your 4, and then back to the 1. Woo-wee! That's great for the fingies and for the ear. You can switch that up in a multitude of different ways. Rather than playing this F, you could have a E minor, G in the bass with the F sharp, which would give us like an F sus over the top, which floats it, and it resolves to C. It's a great feeling to know that these movements work quite well with the 3 going to the 6, or the 3 jumping directly to the 4, the 3 moving ever so slightly to the 2, but it makes more sense to go from the 3 to the 6 to the 2 than it does directly from the 3 to the 6. Because with the grace notes and the addition of 7s, we really put ourselves in the position to feel the other note. So what I like to see is if you could just write down 3, 6, 4 and 2 together, 5 and 7 together, and 1. With those 5 spaces, that will control most music that you hear. 3rd goes to the 6th, 6 goes to either the 4 or the 2, 4 and 2 goes to either the 5 and the 7, it resolves right back to 1. You could also go 3 to the 4 or the 2, and then right to the 1, skip that whole thing. Or you could go any variation. Heck, I would even say you could go back from the 7th or the 5. If you were doing C to you're doing the 5, you can even go back to the 6 and then up to the diminished. And that is a great way to resolve as well. I hope this made sense. If not, we'll just go over it over and over and over again till it does. It was so absolutely wonderful to see you again today, James. Till next week. Aloha.